The next option is build mesh. Click on that and you will have a new tab like this. From here, I'm gonna go to explain step by step each of these parameters, what they are meaning. And I'm starting from source data. As you can see, we have sparse cloud, depth map, and dense cloud. Here we can see source data determines what the mesh is built from. I mean, what is your source data? Sparse clouds, it's mean connect only type points, create a very rough, low detailed mesh, and produce a simplified shape. Depth maps, it's recommended, of course. Use depth maps faster and memory efficient. However, we don't have depth map in this tutorial. The only option that we have is dense cloud. Use depth points cloud and is a little slower. For this, since we don't have dense map, I'm gonna use dense cloud that we have here. From a surface type, we have height, field, and arbitrary 3D that I'm going to explain what they are meaning. Surface type is related to what kind of geometry to expect by metashapes. We have two options here. Arbitrary, it's saying full 3D reconstruction for objects, buildings, statues, and low overhangs and vertical surfaces used for architecture, cultural heritage, and small object scanning. However, if you want for another purposes, you can use height field that is related to almost 2.5 t and assumes train-like surface and no overhangs. It's using for drone mapping, train, and dam generation. And it's good to mention that it's not good for vertical walls and or complex geometry. However, in this tutorial, I'm going to use for, let's say, drone mapping, and I'm going to put on height field. Okay, the next one, from quality, we have a face count. Again, we have different options from low to high, and also we have a custom. Okay, here we have face count. That's related to controlling number of polygons. Here we have the face counts and also project types. As you can see from medium, we have drone. It's useful for drone train. The high one is for architecture, and high or custom is for small objects. We don't have a strong filtering, however, it's going to be available for you in your software. It's going to be useful for aggressive project type. For this, I'm going to put on medium since I'm using, let's say, drone mapping. However, also I can put on low since I'm going to decrease the number of processing, the time of processing, and it's good to put on low. However, if you are interested, you can put on medium since we are using for drone mapping. The advanced part, we have interpolations, and here we have different options to disable it, enable it as default, and extrapolated. Interpolation, it's using for controlling how holes are filled inside the processing of our drone data sets. The first one, as I said, is enable. As you can see, it's filling small gaps automatically and smooths small missing areas. It's good for most projects. We have the second options as the disabled. It's keeping all holes open, and it's more accurate for scientific works. It's not useful for practical one. And the last one, we have extrapolated. It's filling large empty areas. It's not recommended unless it's necessary. Okay, for this tutorial, I'm gonna disable this one. However, if you are interested, you can put on enable it since I'm going to decrease the time of processing. Here we have a point classes. It's if I click on select, you can see it's not available for us. Yeah, but if it's available, you can classify your let's say dense cloud into different such as low vegetation, medium vegetation, and etc. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one is calculate vertex color. What it's doing is adding color to the mesh vertices and makes mesh visible even without texture, and it's recommended to keep it on. Okay, right now I defined and also arrange everything. At the end I can click on OK. As you can see, we built our mesh, and if I turn this camera out, you can see our mesh here and also the location of our GCPs. Okay, very good.